thought I'd do a video on a commercial property engagement and kind of take you through that whole engagement. There's a lot of things out there on YouTube and so forth about setting traps and so forth, but very little about kind of approaching commercial properties. So several weeks back, I was approached by a property management company about doing an estimate for a homeowners association. We've worked with this property management company in the past. My general rule with property management companies is the first estimate that I do at no cost. Okay? If a property management company communicates very poorly with me and or I don't get the business, that's the last free estimate they get from me. So that's my general rule with property management companies. So we did the estimate. I walked the property about 2 weeks ago. I typically use Onyx to map out mole activity throughout the property. This is actually kind of a nice property. It's just up one street, down the other. So you just walk a circle. Most of the mole activity was in the back portions of the yard. Probably took me about a half hour to walk and about another half hour to put the quote together from a template that I use and send it off. So this is what the quote actually read when I was done. Miss Quigley, it's a pleasure providing a nuisance wildlife estimate for X. The property consists of a 15-unit development with 110 physical addresses. The property is approximately 19.5 total acres, of which approximately 9 is impervious or unaffected. The remaining affected area is 10.5 acres of open space turf. There were 54 points of fresh mole activity noted. Mole activity was moderate to severe throughout, with slightly heavier activity noted on the west side of Drake Street, ... We would propose an engagement as follows. And basically, I'm going to do this as a flat fee with 4 inspections about weekly over 30 days. Actually, my first trap check, I'm going to do 2 days from now, just to be able to show the moles caught, because we're in a super hot period of time right now. And if I wait a week, there won't be much left of those moles. So typically, a lot of these I start out as a flat fee. And then I also set this up at a recall. So if a homeowner wishes to recall us, that recall will go through the property management company. The homeowner will give us an address, and we'll trap at a per mole fee through the end of the season. Okay? That allows me to gauge a feel for the amount of infiltration that the property is going to have. And quite often, next spring, I'll turn this into a seasonal engagement where we'll just trap consistently throughout the entire season. So that's kind of the approach here as far as putting the estimate together. So now we're talking about getting set up to put traps in the ground. Stuff that I typically use, I'm going to use a knee pad, usually on one of my knees. It's particularly helpful on wet days when I don't want to kneel in wet grass. I most likely won't take my probe with me today because I don't think it's going to be needed. Most of the mole activity is pretty obvious. Got my knife, I'll definitely take that. My nitrile gloves. My flags, most cases I'll use one flag. There may be certain times where I'll actually double flag something. One of the things that I do when I'm dealing with an HOA is I want to make it easy for the guys mowing the lawn to get around the trap. So I'm not going to put a trap right next to an area where all they can do is get the zero turn through, right? I don't want them having to drive over that trap. I want them to be able to get through it. So I'll try to make things easy for the lawn mowing crew. And they have been warned twice about this engagement. So they know what's happening. The property management company has assured me they've reached out to them, and I actually know the guys that mow lawn here, so they're kind of aware of these types of things. So flags can be bought from Blackburn Manufacturing. They have your company, you can have them customize them, put your company name on them, phone number, and so forth. They're great for advertising, and if a homeowner needs to reach out to you, they know how to find you. Traps, I've got 2 dozen MoleSlayers. You see they stack real nice, and then I've got another half a dozen MoleSlayers with integrated setting handles. Probably don't really need those, just given what I'm seeing, but if I have a deeper set, they come in pretty handy for deeper sets. And then I always carry a handful of trap lines in the bottom of the bucket. You'll see I've got two types, the smaller version and the larger version. If you look here real close, you'll see that I paint the loops on the larger versions orange so I can separate them from the smaller ones. Almost all of this stuff can be purchased on the Modern Mole Trapping and Supplies website, or we'll give you instructions on where to purchase those things. And then I also carry a few stakes that I use to stake the trap lines. They also come in pretty handy when I'm doing gopher work, but I don't have any gopher work here. So those are the typical things that I'm going to take with me on a job like this. All right, so I've got all my stuff in the bucket. There are 30 traps there. I forgot to mention that bucket. So it's either a 2.5 gallon or a 3 gallon bucket from Menards. Has a little piece of PVC mounted on the inside. I can carry the flags. I can carry the stakes. Not taking the probe, but sometimes the probe will stick out of the bucket. So I've got 30 MoleSlayers, about a half a dozen trap lines in the bottom of the bucket. You see how they all stack kind of nice in the bucket. And we're going to go ahead and trap some moles. I would expect, I'm going to kind of go broad. Originally I was thinking this will take me an hour to place, but I'm going to give it an hour to 2 hours, and we're going to time it. So we're going to walk down this side of the street, and we're going to walk back up that side of the street, and we'll be back. And that's it. All set. I left at 9:15. It's currently 10:03. So I think that's a little right around 45 minutes or so to set that. 26 traps. In terms of the conditions here, the last couple of years we've had drought conditions. It's been very dry. This year we've had lots of wet weather. This particular HOA also irrigates, so it's very wet. Pretty easy trapping conditions when it comes right down to it. So everything's set. 26 traps. There were 6 with setting handles. The balance were standard MoleSlayers. I actually could have used a few more setting handles. There were a number of deeper sets where they came in handy. So we're back to do our trap check. It is about exactly 49 hours since these traps have been in place. So about 2 days, a little bit longer than 2 days. When these traps were placed, it was extremely hot and humid out. I think we had temperatures approaching 90 degrees. First day was completely dry, other than being hot. Last evening we got pretty heavy rain. I was worried about a few traps being washed out. So we're going to walk the property. We're going to check the traps. One thing that I kind of failed to mention in the last video is the MoleSlayers. Whether you use setting handles or non-setting handles, one of the videos I have out there talks about tuning the traps, where you're kind of messing with the trap legs and messing with the triggers. The current traps we've kind of refined. There's really no tuning involved, so I set every one of these traps out of the box. And then another comment that I would make is that I think in one of the videos along the way that you saw, I mentioned, I don't know, 23 or 24 traps set. The actual number was 30. Okay, we set 24 standard MoleSlayers and 6 MoleSlayers with integrated setting handles. So we're going to go and figure out how many moles we caught at this point in time. So I've completed my trap check. I'm back. I left at about 10:25 in the morning, and it's about 11 o'clock now. Remember, this property consisted of about what I would call 9 acres of maybe tropical land. I did stop probably for about 10 minutes and talk to one of the board members, which is always nice to do because the property management companies don't always communicate real well to the board members. And I had an opportunity to show him the trap moles, talk about how we might be able to do a more seasonal, better coverage approach for them next year, and just talk to him about some general characteristics of moles that I think will help us going forward. He conveyed that the lawn care company had applied topical treatments in the past that didn't really work out for them. So I think I got all 30 traps checked. It's possible I might have missed a trap somewhere along the way, but we'll go through the video and try to find all the moles that were trapped and show them. And here they are. So the count is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I got 11 moles out of 30 traps. If you look at those moles, you're going to notice that in general they tend to be older moles. Usually this time of the year we're catching younger moles, but again, this is the first time this property's ever trapped. So, You tend to catch older moles more so than younger moles. Every trap that was triggered had a mole in it. There were no untriggered traps. So official mole count 11 out of 30 with 0 misses.